What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Muck MIRE podcast. Keith Glock and Brandon Furey joining you on a Monday morning. Furey, what's up, man? Another victory weekend.
Yes, sir. Feeling good. 3 in a row.
Yeah, indeed. We are going to have a special guest, or I guess we try to have a special guest every week. And this week will be sophomore quarterback Michael Schmelzer. He'll be joining us in just a couple of minutes. So when he comes on, we'll have an opportunity to maybe look backwards a little bit at what's happened. But Brando, with you, I want to look forward a little bit. This weekend, you guys got a break insofar as some other results around the state. Scotch Plains with a big victory this week to get a bunch of residual power points over to our end. And now we go into the third game of a 3-game homestand, final regular season game against an undefeated Cranford team ranked number 4 in the state. Just as you have started to prep for them, I'm sure, what are you seeing from them on tape? Because from what I hear, your job specifically might be a little difficult this week.
Yeah, well, their O-line and D-line is unbelievable. They have a kid going to Illinois. They got a 6'7" tackle. They have 6'2" guard, 6-foot center. Their smallest lineman is like my size, so that kind of puts it in perspective. So it's gonna be a challenge, but we're ready for it. I don't look at it as like, they're 7-0 or 3-4. I look at it as we're 3-0 and they're 7-0. It's 2 undefeated teams going at it, because that's kind of how we feel like we had a new season after those first 4 games. That's been our mentality, and that'll continue to be our mentality. We're not going to back down from them.
Specifically, obviously, you're going to bring that tough mentality into everything that you do. And, but I mean, I guess when you get into specifics of how you combat a situation like that, is there a strategic approach that you guys can take, when just physically you're kind of maybe a little bit outmanned?
Yeah, I mean, it's just doing our job. If like on defense, I know Cranford wants to run the ball. If we're in our gaps and aligning right, then it's just about going out and playing football, and that's what we do. And we're honestly, we're ready for it. And I think the biggest thing shown by the Scotch Plains Woodbridge game is that it's high school football. Anybody can be beaten on any night. We dismantled Scotch Plains, and then they go out and beat one of the better teams in the state. And that can happen this Friday. We're just gonna all have to do our jobs and do it for 48 or more minutes.
Do both of or do those guys play both sides of the ball the way you do, or are they just offensive linemen?
They actually rotate together at nose, so they'll be switching in and out.
So basically, you get to see them all game long, and they might even be a little bit fresher, is what you're telling me.
Yep, that'll
okay.
That'll be it.
So I have to say, if there was anybody I was going to count on in a situation like that, you'd be my man. So, now personally, when you think about a matchup like that, you always say and do the right things. It's almost like you have your own PR assistant there telling you what to say, because that's, I think, a reflection of who you are as a human being. But just dropping the curtain for everybody a little bit, you personally, like, what do you do? What's your mindset in a situation like this? Do you feel an extra burden, like this, or is it really not like that?
I mean, I really, every game this year, I've just felt a little bit of an extra burden, just being a senior captain. And this one, it's no different. I'm excited to go against guys at that level. You're not going to see much better on a week-to-week basics than an Illinois commit. So there's not much better than that. So I'm looking at it as an opportunity to show that I can compete with the best, and that's what I'll do.
I don't really think that like you're born with confidence. You don't pop out of the womb with confidence. I think that confidence is something that is grown over time. Is there a time or a moment or a game that you look back to that you can say, like, yeah, I felt like, okay, I am like supremely capable to do this. Not only am I capable, I am probably one of the better guys. And if I believe in myself in some kind of way, that's going to come out. Is there a moment in your brain, in your career, where that light switch kind of turned on?
Yeah, well, actually, it happened against Cranford my sophomore year, which was my second game. And they had this stud nose guard who is playing at Holy Cross now. And just being able to go toe to toe with him, and make plays on him and beat him, just helped me see that, like exactly what you said, that I can do it and I'm more than capable of it.
Offensive linemen, I think, are generally regarded kind of like catchers in baseball as the probably outside of quarterback, the most intelligent guys on a football team, because there's so much more than just big guy against big guy. And, you got to understand where everybody's going and where you want angles and where you want to move people to. Right. When you get into a situation like you're going to see on Friday, where physically it's going to be, you'd hope an even matchup, or very close in one direction or the other on every snap, right? But from a cerebral standpoint, how do you go into a matchup like that, where it's going to be a physical test of everything that you have to do to be able to make those mental adjustments from rep to rep? What does that look like for an offensive lineman?
Well, it's just really just focusing on like the next play. You're not going to make every block, especially when you're going against guys at this level. They're going to make plays. Just like they're looking at like our D line will make plays. And it's just about getting the next one. And keeping your head in it, staying poised, because when you trust your technique and you're confident in it and you know what you're doing, it starts to just come easy, and you'll pick it up.
I'm so interested in like the psychology of everything. That's why I always kind of get into that stuff with you, because I know you can, you can take us inside of it a little bit. And I think that's interesting. But now just globally, as being one of the leaders of the team, and, the last 3 games, certainly I think went a long way to helping you guys build up some confidence. And then now I'm sure younger guys on the team will go like, oh, well, this isn't Franklin. This isn't, you know what I mean? How do you as a leader say, you have to take what you learned in those last 3 games, and this one is no different than the last 3?
Well, first off, you just got to use that as just confidence and trust that that what you're doing is going to work. It's because it's our stuff. All right. We're not going to change what we do against because we're going against a better team. We're going to find different holes that we can hit on them. But it's still our stuff. So it's just about keeping that mindset. And Scotch Plains was a very good team. I think that was a really underrated win for us. Like that was a big game against a good team. And I think that really prepared us. And I think the way the schedule kind of played out, where Franklin was a little bit worse, so that could kind of ease Mike into it. And then jumped right into it with Scotch Plains. And that was just such a big confidence boost. And then obviously a lower level of competition last week just to get us ready for this one. And I know we'll be ready. I'm so confident in our team. Coach was saying in a practice yesterday, the young guys, the first year starters, they're not young guys anymore. We're very far in. We're 7 games in. So they're going to be ready to play, and they're going to have to be ready to play because it is a good team. And there's going to be times where we do everything right and they still probably will put points on us. And that happens. That's football. It's just about staying poised and continuing to do our stuff.
I'm going to let Mr. Schmelzer in the room here as you get a look at Fozzie. Fozzie is very excited about what you have to say, obviously. And as we let Mike in, I got one more question for you, Brandon, before we turn our attention over to Mr. Schmelzer here, who's just joined us. But, you talked about the next play up. You have to focus on the next play. And I hate to give any credit at all in the world to Drew Brees, because we just know that I despise the Saints, and Drew Brees has been the the bane of my Falcon existence for the last 15 years. But, he said you play these games against good teams and sometimes you're going to get down because, the other team's going to make plays and you can't win the game down 18 on the next play. Like you have to take what's there on the next play so that there can be a next play. Like if you try to force this, it's like that old Madden syndrome when you were 12 years old. Well, I'm just going to throw deep on every play because, I'm down by 30. Well, that's pretty stupid because you're going to get picked off, So when you think about it from just that next play mindset, I think that's like, it can be a cliche if you don't really think about what's actually happening. Like you just had a 300-pound dude run into you. And now you have to go like, okay, I have to just completely forget that another mountain of a human has run into me. And I'm going to go run into him on the next play. But for you, like, what is that like? What is that a mental mind? Or how do you actually do the thing of focusing on the next play?
I mean, it is kind of a cliche, but it's just, you just gotta be able to flush it out and just it's all about focus and knowing your job and trusting yourself, trusting the guys next to you. And when you do that, it makes it a ton easier when you're confident in the guy on your right and the guy on your left, and they're confident in you. That's when the offense and the defense can really click.
Well, I'm going to now introduce the man who has just joined us here. You've seen him be silently on mute there for a couple of minutes. It is the sophomore quarterback of the Montgomery Cougars, Michael Schmelzer. Mr. Schmelzer, how are you, buddy?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing good. Pleasure to be here.
All right, happy to have you. So let's give everybody a little bit of your background. A Montgomery kid, decided to go to Notre Dame for freshman year, transferred back for sophomore year, had to sit, and started playing 3 games ago. I don't think it's a coincidence. Montgomery's 3-0 since then. Just give everybody a little insight. What was the decision like, as you were making it in grade 8, going like, all right, I'm not going to come to Montgomery. I'm going to go to Notre Dame. What was the thought process there?
So at first I just wanted to get myself, like with all the COVID stuff, there's a lot of new stuff going on. My parents just thought it would be a good idea to maybe look into a Catholic school because Notre Dame was kind of on an uprising. However, I went there, it didn't really work out too well. I still I had nothing against the school. They're awesome guys, awesome coaches, awesome teammates. I just thought I had a huge opportunity here with a great team here, and it's been awesome so far. I'm so thankful I made the decision.
Well, I think we're all thankful that you made the decision to come back with how it's worked out, right? That's the first thing. Were there butterflies coming back? About just, I would have to imagine as like a 15, 16-year-old kid, you to say like, all right, am I going to be welcomed back into this team? What was that set of emotions like for you?
So originally Notre Dame, they wanted me to switch my position and wanted me to play more on defense. And I was kind of taking it like I was going to do that. And I wasn't really planning on coming back until this guy, Brandon, he started texting me and asking me like questions and stuff. He wanted me to come back to Montgomery. And we just kind of it started off as kind of just like an afterthought. I wasn't really considering it too much. And then as the days went on, I started to really think about it more. And then eventually I just came to the decision to come back. I was a little nervous that it wasn't going to work out at first. I had to stay confident with the whole sit down. It was tough, learning that I'm going to have to sit for 4 weeks. It was tough watching sometimes, but I'm just so thankful I got back.
Now, to my understanding, you could have played a week prior against North Hunterdon. Is that correct? In terms of eligibility?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually was thinking about this the other day as I was kind of just taking stock of the season and doing, my prep for this and, my prep for the game for Friday, of what I thought a great job to not play you in that game. Mm-hmm. And I know that may sound backwards, but I was thinking about it from an NFL perspective, because, when these rookies get drafted, it's like, when are we going to see them, and what position might we put them in? Like it was the big Justin Fields playing in week 1 against the Rams. Like, do you want Aaron Donald 6 feet, 6 inches away from him in his first NFL start? And I thought that there was a kind of similar thing for you. If there was a transition point, that 5th game of the season felt like one where the coaching staff could put you in a position to really have some success early, because I mean, at least, and maybe I'm overthinking this, and you can tell me what your mindset is, that, you go out there and you have some early success in those games. I really feel like that's I guess just a much easier building block than going out there and have it be even a middling performance, like a 8 for 17 or 8 for 18 performance. Maybe you throw a pick, maybe you throw a touchdown kind of thing, but to go out there and really play consistently well, I feel like probably set you up in a really positive way.
Mm-hmm. The coaching staff, they did a great job, like getting me ready. The North Hunterdon game that week, like I didn't have I had like 1 week of practice. Like it wasn't really, because during the transfer sit down, like my reps were very limited during practice. I didn't really get that much because they had to get other guys ready to play.
Sure.
So they did a great job getting me ready for Franklin. And an extra week really helped me out and got me some success and a lot of confidence going forward.
So now you throw that ball up the seam, your first touchdown pass as a Cougar. Just talk about just raw emotion. What is that feeling like?
It was awesome. It was one of the best feelings I ever had. It was amazing to feel that way.
Do you feel like a sense of vindication when that happens? You're like, wow, I made the right call doing this.
Yeah. I was like, I'm home. I felt better. I felt so much better to be here.
One of the things that I was talking to a father of a couple of Montgomery graduates yesterday. I just happened to be with him reffing a college lacrosse game, and I was telling him about you. And I said, the thing that's really impressed me is his mobility. And he said, oh, he can run. And I said, yes, and then I qualified it. And I said, but if you ask me just to describe his playing style, I would say he is not a running quarterback. He is a passing quarterback who is actually quite mobile. And to me, I didn't really know what to expect from you, Mike. If I'm being totally honest, obviously, why would I? It's not like I'm scouting the middle school, you know what I mean? And the couple of times where you have been remarkably decisive in putting your foot in the ground and taking off and getting that yardage where you need to, while still certainly keeping your eyes down the field, because you've thrown on the run quite well this season as well.
Thank you.
Just take me through that. I guess I want to understand the mindset of like how you have been able so early in your career to be as decisive as you have been.
It comes with being confident in my receivers, my offensive line. Like they give me so much confidence just knowing that they're gonna do their job and they're not gonna, mess me up or anything like that. And I can always trust that they're gonna find space, try to get open, that they're gonna be there when I need to throw the ball or when I need to run the ball. My offensive line has done a great job protecting me, and I couldn't do any of it without them.
I really thought this past weekend was a great display of the variety I think that you have in terms of your ability to throw the football. There were times where you drove the football up the middle of the field when you needed to with accuracy and pace, and then there was certainly again throwing on the run a tremendous touchdown pass to Jenkins, which you've done a couple of times this year. Then you throw a fade pass to Divino with a great deal of touch. You convert a 4th down on the sideline with precision and accuracy. How is the variety in your game developed, and how do you I guess what is the feeling like of having to understand how much oomph I have to give here versus how much touch I might have to give there in terms of layering the football when you throw down the field?
I've always just trying to learn how to I've been taught to learn how to have a feel for the game. I have great quarterback coaches with Cardi. Also Tony Rassiopi, who trains me. He's always taught me you can't always be one speed. There's different situations where you have to lead receivers, different times and places where you have to put the ball right on them. And they've all done a great job teaching me and what to do. Like everything helps.
I think there was no greater an example of, your development, even in 3 games, that's certainly not a long period of time, but yet I think we saw it, was the screen pass touchdown to Benitez. I think, if you looked at those types of plays at Franklin in your first start, where it looked a little uncomfortable in terms of getting the ball out there in that space, with that timing, versus it looked like you guys had done that a million times, in the game on Friday. Talk about how comfortable you've been and how much more comfortable you are from game 1 to game 3.
Experience, getting this experience is just awesome, and it's just helping me get better and better every game. Learning from mistakes, trying to keep everything in mind, what I can do better, what I did good. But yeah, I have so much confidence in Alex. Like when I to play design to go to him, I know that he's gonna do the right thing, and it's just I'm so much more comfortable now being done it before.
Brando, what about for you, man? You obviously, you've been as intimately involved in this quarterback change as anybody, as you're the only person on the field that touches the ball on every play, quite literally. How have you had to change your playing style at all, between when Alex is back there and now when Mike's back there?
My playing style hasn't changed much with him switching. It's just more confidence, obviously, in Mike. I know what he's capable of. And I'm one of the people that's not surprised by his performances, because it's what I expected. And just knowing that now we can have both of them on the field at the same time is just makes an offensive lineman feel a lot more comfortable. Like as you saw last Friday, we had a couple of read options where Mike can run it almost just as well as Alex, and it just makes us feel much more comfortable up front.
There's a play, Mike, and I'll find it. Before the end of the year, I think it was. It was in the Franklin game. I don't want to say that for sure. It was either Franklin or Scotch Plains, where you moved in the pocket to create more room in the pocket. I watched it happen, and I thought to myself, though I didn't have a chance to say it on the air, this is the first time I'm saying it on the air, that I said that looked like an NFL quarterback just manipulating the pocket, maneuvering himself to be able to step up and create space. And I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know here, but for a player your age to have that kind of maturity and kind of calmness, to just not panic when bodies are flying at you in that kind of proximity, how have you been able to develop something and a skill like that at such an early age?
It comes with playing football for sure. Just like learning how to what's gonna happen, like being comfortable with his speed. But it also comes with awesome coaching. I referenced Tony before. He always taught me to stay balanced whenever I move, and that really has helped me a lot. And it's just awesome coaching also adds on to that in a huge way.
How do you prepare, Mike, from game to game? What is your preparation from Saturday now, and take us through what that looks like from Saturday leading into next Friday against Cranford?
I'm always making sure I'm healthy for the game. I always want to make sure I'm ready physically, and then mentally, I'm always making sure I know what the defense is going to do. I'm always in the film room. We watch film every day during practice. I just try to keep my head in it, stay focused on the next opponent, and not dwell in the past on what happened last week. And I always look forward to the next opponent.
There's a great, and this will be the last serious thing we say, and then I want to get into some fun stuff. There's a podcast episode, and I've talked about this on the air during basketball season, I think, about Russell Wilson uses this concept of getting back to medium and not ever getting too high or too low. We'll all sit down and listen to that one day. I think it's just fantastic. And the guy who said it tragically passed away from cancer. Didn't tell anybody he had cancer, and the guy was like my age, and just died. It was crazy, but that's another story for another day. So let's get into the fun stuff. All right, Schmelzer, rapid fire off the top of your head. Favorite pro or college football team?
Giants, pro. College Rutgers.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that there's just Rutgers people all over the world, the state going like, finally, there's a homegrown kid that might want to stay at home. And Giants, I guess it speaks for itself too. You and Benitez can hang out. Furey, I'm glad it's snowing in your house. That's why you need that beanie. Good job. What non-football team?
Baseball, like the Yankees. Basketball, the Knicks, and then college basketball, Rutgers still.
Favorite athlete growing up?
Probably Eli Manning. He's a jersey right back there.
Okay. You watch that Monday night broadcast with him and Eli, or him and Peyton rather?
I do sometimes, yeah.
I think they're actually pretty fantastic. I feel like it's almost like if you put the Mire watching a football game, like they clown like kind of like we do. Just basically should tell you a bunch of idiots we are. Have you had enough time at the high school to come up with a favorite teacher yet?
I wouldn't say yet. I like all my teachers though, for sure.
Politician from the word go.
I'm sure.
I bet. Favorite athletic memory that you participated in your lifetime?
I'm not really sure, but this season has definitely been up there because it's been just so awesome to be here.
Well, listen, I think I speak for everybody when I say you have far exceeded any expectations that so far that anybody could have placed upon you. And it's just been a lot of fun from the broadcasting standpoint. What you've been able to bring to the team and allowed everybody to do has just been pretty awesome. So congratulations on the success you've had so far. And I can't wait for Friday.
Yep, me too. Thank you.
You got it. Furey, party shots. What do you got, buddy?
Let's keep it rolling. Get this one on Friday and roll into the playoffs. Let's go.
No doubt. That's been Brandon Furey and Mike Schmelzer on another episode of the Muck MIRE podcast. We will close out the third of a 3-game homestand on Friday against undefeated Cranford, live in the Mire at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss any of it at all. Pretty excited for the whole thing. Boys, have a great football Sunday, and we will see you on Monday at school.
Thank you.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's been another episode of Muck MIRE.